Hey there, this is your pal Pally, and welcome back to Git Er Raid. I'm taking a look at PTR fights for the upcoming Siege of Orgrimmar. As always with PTR testing, the bugs will be plentiful, and tuning will be off, so keep that in mind. Next up is Thok the Bloodthirsty. This big Undasta-like dino is apparently vampiric as he hungers for your raid's blood. It is again a 2-tank fight, and not sure if it's 2 or 3 healable yet, probably 3 depending on tuning. The fight revolves around 2 alternating phases. In the normal phase, he is beating on you, doing some raid damage, and gaining energy. When he hits 100 energy, he does a big AoE to the raid. He gains that energy faster and faster until you push him into the next phase. How do you do that? Well, at least half of your raid has to be bloodied, which means they are at half health. These bloodied people need to also be stacked up. Once that occurs, Thok goes into the Blood Frenzy, which is the second phase. In the Blood Frenzy stage, Thok will fixate on a random raid member and attempt to devour them. Yes, devour them. And it isn't just a little, ouch, he nibbled on me type devour. It's, you are dead instantly. So obviously you need to run from him. How do you push him back into the other phase? Well, you need to give him something else to snack on besides your raiders. That's where these cages come into play. At the start of the frenzy phase, a jailer ad will come out to see what is going on. He actually hurts a little bit on your tanks if you don't dispel his enrage, but after he dies, if you click on his body, you get a key buff which allows you to go open up one of the cages. In 10-man normal, there are 3 cages that can be opened. The NPCs in there aren't really that important to know, but basically the cages could be labeled fire, ice, and poison. Once you open a cage, the NPC will come out, and a little bit later, Thok will finally get pissed off enough to go chomp them, and in doing so, will absorb some of the NPC's power. One side note here is that the NPCs will also help your raid out for a little bit if you are near them when they get freed. Fire, I believe, boosts your DPS some, the ice guy will heal people until he gets swallowed, and the poison guys seem to boost your DPS some as well. The biggest thing to worry about here is that the abilities granted to Thok after he swallows an NPC will depend on which NPC it was. So let's go through what each one of those NPCs will grant him, and that will dictate how the next normal phase will go. If he swallows the ice guy, his breath attack turns into a frost bath attack. Okay, duh. If a tank takes 5 stacks of this breath, he gets frozen in a tomb of ice. Okay, pretty standard. Likewise, the AoE that he is doing during the phase will also apply a debuff to a random player it hits, and once again, if they get 5 stacks, you need to free them from an ice tomb. Basically, just make sure you are ready to break people out of their tombs as quickly as possible. If he swallows the poison guys, obviously his breath is now poisonous, and it applies a stacking armor debuff on the tanks. His AoE becomes poisonous and will also inflict a stacking dot on the raid, so that can add up quickly. Finally, the fire guy will turn his breath into flames, which apply a stacking dot on your tanks. His AoE gets really annoying as it puts puddles of flames on the ground. You will quickly die if you try stacking up for this, so be very careful. So, what's the strategy? Well, we had a couple of instances where we were all disconnected, so we really only got to try each door out and see what the phase after was like. But my tentative recommendation is going to be to leave the fire door for last, and probably do ice or poison first. Overall, it seems like you need to be in the normal phase for at least 25% of his health, otherwise you'll run out of friendly NPCs for him to snack on. My opinion is that you would probably just try to lust at the start and burn him as low as possible, with as many raid CDs burnt as possible, and then go into his frenzy phase. Maybe shoot for 65-70% as a DPS mark to hit. From that point, you can get the jailer killed, free the NPC, and do a couple more percent of damage before stacking back up for his normal phase. Hopefully you can take another 20-25% off of him for each subsequent normal phase, and then he'll die. That's my thought on strategy, but we'll see how it works out on live. One last note, he does have a tail swipe the whole fight, so don't look at his dino ass. So that's about it for Thok the Bloodthirsty. Get bloodied to push frenzy phases, avoid getting chomped, and use the jailers to free some tasty snacks for this dino. Thanks for watching, and please comment, like, and/or subscribe to the video if you found it helpful, and have a good one.